Hi guys, it's Reno. We are here today for a new tutorial. I think you guys are in the same position as I am, stuck at home, and you're probably wondering what you have to do with your nitro engine to save it and make sure that it's gonna be alright for the next time you go on the track. So let's check it out. So first, you just take the backplate out of your engine. It's not really hard. You take a 2mm screwdriver usually. You make sure that the piston is on the top, so you just spin your crankshaft until you can feel that you're going to the pinch, so you keep it on top, and then you unscrew all 4 screws from the back plate. So usually the best way is to keep the engine on the head like that. So what you can do is just get the screws out, and then at the time where you can pull the back plate out of the engine, you just spin the crankshaft and make sure the piston is on top. If you don't do that, you might break it, so just be careful. So like now I spin, I feel like there's a hard spot. I keep it on the pressure, and then I spin and then pull. So now the back plate is off. What you can do is you just check visually if there is like nothing special, no dust or no aluminum chips or anything going wrong in it. I mean, it's just a basic tutorial, so just want to make sure that your engine is fine. You take some after run oil. This one is from Pico, for example, really good for Pico engines, and you just apply some drops on the base of the conrod and into the bearing. So just a few drops around the rear bearing, so it's gonna make sure that the bearing is not gonna rust. So just a few drops, and it's gonna prevent from rusting. So for example, this is like my engine after 10 liters, and it was like sitting on the bench for like almost a month right now. I didn't do it, so you can feel that the fuel from racing experience is really good. If your engine is rusting after like a period of 1 week, for example, this is like you might need to change your fuel. To put the backlight on, just you can place it and then make sure always the same. Like I go back to the hard spot, so the piston is really on top of the piston sleeve, and then I push the back plate in. Usually you have a flat spot on the back plate. Make sure the flat spot goes on top versus the cooling head, and then you can screw the screws back in. Usually you don't go to the end, just tighten it a little bit, and then you cross to the opposite side, and then the third one and the fourth one. This is gonna prevent the rear bearing from rusting, which is really good. Usually when your engine sits on the bench for too long and you don't apply after run oil, if the bearing rusts, then it's done. The next start you're gonna do, it's gonna be really noisy, and you need to change the bearing. So this is really gonna avoid that problem. So my engine is fully back in. It doesn't really require big experience, just being careful. What you can do also is just you open the cap, just a few drops on top of the piston, so you go backward, piston go as low as possible, and just a few drops in the cylinder. So it's gonna make sure that everything is perfectly oiled. What you can also change at that time is take the most of it to change the gasket, so the next time you go on the track it's gonna be perfectly like new. A quick tip also, if you want to make sure that your bearings are fine and the sealing of your engine is good, you just turn the crankshaft, and you can see usually that the carb should be moving. So my carb rubber is pretty tight right now, but you see when you put some pressure on the like flywheel of crankshaft, it's moving. So it's showing that there is like some under pressure in the engine. If you have a bearing leak or something like that, it won't move. So it can come from the rubber boot. So you just check visually that the rubber boot is fine. And one more thing, because you put some oil into the engine, the next time you go on the track or in the starter box, just start your engine, fire it up, just let it run for a few minutes, and then stop it, and then change the glow plug, because the oil is gonna burn and it might damage your glow plug. So make sure the next time you go on the track, you put a brand new glow plug. I think you're all set now, and I hope you guys are safe, and see you soon.